to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Okay, take a deep breath in. And on the out breath, that's it. Relax those eyelids and close your eyes. That's it. Breathe in. And as you breathe in, get a feeling of calm and relaxation. Breathing in that relaxation and exhale any tension. That's it. That's it. Release any tension and breathe in again. Just imagine, create a color that best represents relaxation. Imagine that color going in through your nose, filling your body with that feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just release that feeling of tension. That's it. Deeper and deeper relaxed. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine that you are walking down a flight of stairs. You're at the top of the stairs, and at the bottom of the stairs is a door. And that door is in a special room, a room that will be able to take you backwards and forwards in time. But for now, just imagine that you're at the top of the staircase, looking down. I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and with each descending number, you're going to imagine taking a step down the staircase to deeper levels of your unconscious mind. That's it. 10, taking the first step down the stairs, going deeper and deeper relaxed. That's it. 9, take a deep breath in and take another step down the staircase, releasing that tension as you go deeper and deeper relaxed. That's it. 8, another step down the staircase. That's it, releasing tension as you go deeper and deeper relaxed. That's it. And another step down the staircase, 7 and then 6. And with each step, just feel like your body is loosening. It's easier to breathe, taking you deeper and deeper relaxed. That's it. 5, another 10% deeper and deeper relaxed, just releasing any tension around your neck and your shoulders. That's it. Feeling positive energy filling your body. That's it. Breathing in that positivity and just exhaling anything that doesn't need to be there. That's it. Another step down the staircase. 4, 10% deeper and deeper relaxed. That's it. And 3, getting closer to the end and the bottom of the staircase. That's it. Deeper and deeper relaxed. That's it. Breathing in that positive feeling of relaxation and releasing any tension. Now that's it, deeper and deeper relaxed. And we go 2, getting towards the bottom of the staircase. And 1. That's it. And now at the bottom of the staircase, 0. And there's a short corridor and then there is a door. And behind that door, I want you to imagine, is a futuristic room. Perhaps with computers, machinery in there. And I want you to imagine that this is a futuristic room that has the ability to take you forwards and backwards in time, but also do something very special. And we're going to walk into that room now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Opening the door, walking through the door. And I want you to imagine there is a very futuristic room with a very large screen in front of you and a very comfortable futuristic looking chair. And all I want you to do is to sit in that futuristic looking chair right in front of that very large screen. And you get a sense that being in this chair can actually take you not only backwards or forwards in time, but actually to take control of different people, to be in the body, in the mind of different people. That's it. As you rest on that chair, feel your body get deeper and deeper relaxed. That's it, taking you to deeper levels of comfort, relaxation. Scan your body for any tension and just release that tension. Now that's it, deeper and deeper relaxed. And I want you to look on that large screen, and I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine someone that you admire, someone that has a quality that you appreciate. And I want you to see on this screen a specific person, and that person is the actor Robin Williams. I want you to see him, but not any point in his life. I want you to see a version of him with the qualities that you admire most. Perhaps a time when he was being playful or funny. Maybe there's a character that he played in a particular movie that you like him best in. I want you to see the version of him that has those qualities that you admire the most. And when you arrive at that point, I want you to just pause that version of him on the screen. I want you to see where his body is, how he's standing, the facial expressions that he's making. And I want you to imagine that there is a button on the chair. And as you press that button, I want you to shift your perspective from you in the chair, now feeling like you're in the body of that version of Robin Williams. I want you to imagine being in his body, get an immediate sense of how it feels to be him at that point in his life. I want you to tap into that feeling of creativity, playfulness, that sense of humor. Just locate where these feelings are and get a sense of how your mind is working. This desire to make other people smile and laugh, to perform, really connect. And then that paused version of him then springs into life, and I want you to imagine being that version of Robin Williams with that playful sense of humor, that feeling of entertaining, of performing, of thinking very quickly, of intuitively knowing how to make other people laugh, smile, and feel good. And as you connect into that feeling, notice the location of where that resourceful, playful, humorous feeling is within you. Connect into that feeling. Make it bigger, more powerful, more resonant. Allow that feeling to spread to every single part of your body, from your fingers all the way down to your toes. And I want you to make a particular movement right now, and that is wiggling your toes. Just wiggle your toes right now and feel, as you feel this sense of playfulness, this sense of having this sense of humor, this intelligence, this quick thinking, all designed to make you feel good and make other people feel good. Wiggle your toes. And at any point in the future, to reconnect with this feeling of playfulness, silliness, the ability to smile and make other people smile, all you need to do is wiggle your toes, and those feelings and that resourceful ability will come rushing back. And try it now. Just wiggle those toes and feel that sense of playfulness, that feeling of sense of humor, that ability to smile and make other people smile, make other people feel good. As you wiggle your toes, just connect into that incredible feeling, that amazing feeling. That's it. One more time. Wiggle those toes and just feel good doing that. Now, that's it. And then just imagine that you're now back in that chair, looking at that screen. I want the screen to fade, and it no longer has that image of Robin Williams. I want you to imagine there is now a different, iconic figure. And the figure I want you to see on screen is Oprah Winfrey. But I want you to see her at whatever point in her life made you feel that she had those qualities that you admire most. Perhaps it's when she was performing, either in a movie, or perhaps on her TV show, or perhaps giving a speech. I want you to fast forward, go backwards and forwards in time until you find that moment where that version of her had the very qualities that you admire most in her. And then I want you to pause that screen right then at the very point where you see her with those qualities that you admire most. See how she's standing, her facial expressions. What is she surrounded by? What location? Is she in a TV studio? Is she in her own home? Notice where she is, and then press that button on the chair, and then feel like you're inside her body right now. Feel like you're in her body, connecting with all of those qualities that you admire most. Perhaps it's her ability to be resilient, to bounce back from tough times. Maybe it's her ambition, her drive, her purpose, her determination. Really connect with all of those qualities that you admire most in her and feel them in you, because you're in her body experiencing those feelings, that inner self-belief. But also connect with a spiritual connection, perhaps a feeling of generosity, a desire to make a difference in the lives of other people. Perhaps connect with that feeling to contribute, to make the world a better place in some way. And notice the location of that particular feeling. Again, expand it, grow it, amplify it. Feel it in every cell in your body. Perhaps there's a tingling sensation that just ripples throughout your whole body. And feel that feeling. Notice the location of the spring from which that resourceful feeling all comes from. That's right. Connect in with that desire to help other people. You can call it generosity, you can call it love. But also get a sense of where you feel, where that accumulation of knowledge combined with experience now enables you to acquire certain distinctions, ability to make choices and decisions in your life. Perhaps you would call that wisdom. Locate that feeling of wisdom. And all I want you to do is to connect with that feeling, and at the point where you feel it's amplified to the highest level, all I want you to do is to touch the very location of where the strongest sense of that resource locates. That's it. And as you touch that, as you connect with that, at any point in the future you touch that part in that way again, you will reconnect. You will trigger, you will amplify that feeling no matter where you are in the future. You will unlock that wisdom, that generosity, that resilience, simply by touching that location in that way, at that pressure. You will unlock all of those resourceful feelings whenever you need them most. And I want you to imagine what you would be able to do with those qualities, with those resources, the different choices you would make, the ability to connect with all that wisdom, all that generosity. That's it. Simply by touching that location, that pressure in that way. That's it. Unlocking all of those resources within you at any point in the future. Amplify those feelings again, touching that location at that pressure. That's it. Unlocking all of those incredible resourceful feelings. And now find yourself back in that chair. And that's it. Make the screen go blank. And just test things out. I want you to just try for a moment wiggling your toes, just wiggling your toes and connecting with those resourceful feelings that you got from Robin Williams, that playfulness, that sense of humor. Just wiggle those toes and get a real sense of connecting into that ability to smile and make other people smile. And then just press that location at that pressure and feel like all that wisdom, all that generosity, that resilience is unlocking within you. And notice that can happen without seeing or thinking about any particular person. Just unlock those resources within you. That's it. And then I want you to see a new person on that screen. And that person is going to be the film director, James Cameron. And perhaps You know exactly what he looks like, or perhaps you just get an idea of what kind of person he is, and maybe the face is slightly blurry if you don't know exactly what he looks like, but I want you to get a sense of a particular movie maybe that he created that really impressed you. Something where there must have been a certain quality there to create that movie. And maybe it was the early movies like The Abyss or Titanic, or maybe later movies, perhaps like Terminator 2 or Avatar. And I want you to really connect with a movie that inspired you in some way, and then imagine that you're on set and you can see him directing that movie, and just get a feeling of the vision, the creativity, but also the leadership qualities required to turn an idea into a movie. See that on screen, pause that, and just check that that is the version of him with all of those qualities that you admire most. Those qualities of creativity, of vision, all those things that must have been there in order to create something that impacted or inspired so many different lives. And then I want you to press that button on the chair and then find yourself in that version of him at that point in his life where you feel absolutely those qualities existed. As you're inside his body, connect with those resourceful feelings, the idea of a vision, a whole universe, an idea that is simply in your mind's eye that can be turned into one of the biggest movies of all time. Locate where that feeling of vision is. And then think of the research, the preparation required to turn a vision into some form of structure for a movie, perhaps a screenplay. Get a sense of what it would take to turn an idea into an actual movie. The planning, the motivation, the problem solving, and connect into all of those qualities. But mostly connect into that feeling of creativity, of coming up with incredible ideas. Ideas that will change how people think. Take people into brand new worlds that don't even exist. And when you find the location of that creativity, I want you to find two fingers and just touch the location of where that creativity springs from. That's it. And I want you to notice that, feel that creativity amplify, increase, and when it's at its highest level, again, just touch that location with those two fingers and feel like that is how you will create and trigger creativity within you. And creativity can be used at any point in the future. Creativity can solve problems. Creativity can build a future idea, create a project, come up with an idea for a goal. And notice that true inspiration, true creativity unlocks the motivation required to turn that vision into a reality. Perhaps this resource will enable you to dream a bigger dream, to create bigger ideas for your own future. Allow that feeling of creativity to increase, and at the point where it's at its peak level, again, touch that location where that creativity stems from with sufficient pressure to feel like you're unlocking it within you. That's right. Unlocking that creativity and immediately feeling that creativity start from there, but then ripple out through every cell in your body, feeling like you're becoming more and more creativity. Creativity is being unlocked, unleashed, amplified, resonating every cell, almost like it's vibrating at a particular frequency. That's right, feel that creativity increase, amplify, become unlocked, knowing that at any point in the future that you require the resourceful state of creativity, simply touch the location where creativity comes from, at that pressure in that location, and creativity will be unlocked for you. That's right. That's right. And now just imagine that you're now back in that chair. Back in that chair, and I want you to, again, see that screen. And all I want you to do is we're now going to see a future version of you utilizing these particular resources. And the first thing I want you to do is to unlock the creativity within your brain to create a compelling future for you. And as you do that, notice that the screen now in front of you shows a future of yours, a vision for you, a compelling vision about you and your future that is desirable for you. There is a powerful belief that anything the mind can conceive and believe, it has the resources to achieve. And as you create that vision for your future, know with deep levels of certainty that you have the resources required to turn that vision into a reality. I then want you to use the particular location where you can unlock resilience, wisdom. That's it. Press that location and keep that vision of your future there, but now unlock the feeling of resilience, motivation, drive, and wisdom to give you a deep sense of conviction that that future is achievable and viable for you, that you have all the resources to turn that vision into a reality. But sometimes a big vision can feel like it carries pressure, stress, expectation. So right now, keep your pressure on that particular location and then just wiggle those toes and feel like not only is this vision possible and you have all the resources to achieve it, but you can enjoy the journey of turning that vision into a reality. As you wiggle your toes, just get a sense that you will enjoy the journey, that it will be a playful journey, that you will make other people smile and laugh on the way to turning your vision into a future. And as you do so, every cell in your body is completely convinced that this future is achievable for you. You have the creativity, the resilience, the determination, and the creativity to solve any problems on the way, and you will enjoy the process, enabling you to become part of that future. See that future. See yourself enjoying that future. See yourself smiling in that future and making other people smile. And then press that button one final time and then find yourself in that future version of you. Notice that you have all those resources, but that this vision is now feeling like a reality for you, that you are in that future, enjoying that future, feeling that you created that future, connecting with that future, feeling a deep sense of certainty that this future is your future and you have the ability to achieve it and enjoy the process. And then imagine that you're back in that chair with a taste of a future that you have the ability, desire, resources to achieve. And then it's time to leave that chair. And as you leave the chair and go back out through the door, see that staircase going back up into the conscious mind and just start climbing those stairs. And notice that as you climb those stairs, you become increasingly aware of exactly where you are in reality. But as you climb the stairs, your unconscious will accept that you have the ability to trigger all of these resources at any point in the future as and when you need them. In a few moments' time, I'm going to count to 10, from 1 to 10 to awaken you, and you will awaken with all of these resources already within you and the ability to trigger them whenever you need them. You will awaken with a deep sense of optimism and positivity for the future, connecting with these resources deep inside and having the ability to know intuitively when to trigger them when they are going to be most impactful in your life. All parts will awaken in the present at this point in time when I count to 10, starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.